Happy morning, dear children. I feel immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the English Corner. Children, what topic we are going to study? Yes, it's a small story. Let me share you the outline of the story before you read the content. This is a story about an honest and hardworking old couple and their pet dog. Okay, the neighbors are troublesome. So many experiences you could have heard about the neighbors who are troublesome, right? And the dog dies a sad death. And the spirit of the dog gives solace and support to his master in unexpected way. This is the outline of the whole story. Okay. Now let us see what is the topic. Heading. Topic heading is, what is it? The ashes that made trees bloom. Once again, the ashes that made trees bloom. Yes, dear children, this is an old couple. In good olden days of the daimyos, daimyos means 19th century in Japan. Daimyos means the landowners, big landowners are called daimyos. So there lived an old couple whose only pet was a little dog. Can you able to see the dog there? So that is a small pet dog. This couple doesn't have any children. So they loved the dog as though it were a baby, their own baby, right? Can you able to understand? There was an old couple. They had no children, so they pet a small dog. They considered that dog as their own child. The old dame loved it as though it were a baby, right? The old dame made it a cushion. You know what is a cushion? Cushion of blue crepe. Children, really, a crepe is a material, very soft material made of cotton, silk, or something else, any fiber. So for this dog, this old couple made a cushion made of blue crepe soft material. And at meal time, Muko is the name of the dog. Muko at meal time, afternoon times, after meals, would sit on the cushion. Sit on it refers to cushion. Sit on the cushion as comfortable. It feels as comfortable as any cat or dog which is very soft. You understood this? The old dame made it a cushion which is made of blue crepe. Crepe here refers to material, very soft material, right? Which is made of silk, cotton, or whatever, any fiber. And that at meal time, Muko is the name of the dog. Muko would sit on that cushion and feels as snug here refers to comfortable, as comfortable as any cat, right? The kind people fed the pet with tidbits of fish, small pieces of fish from their own chopstick. Usually, we use a separate plate and separate spoon, whatever it is, for dogs or pet animal. But here, the kind people fed the pet with their own chopstick. Whatever chopstick they are using, that same chopstick they are using for feeding the baby. Who's that baby? The dog. What is the name of the dog? Muko. Good. Right? So, and all boiled rice it wanted. Apart from fish, what they are giving is the boiled rice. So thus they treated the dumb creature, loved as protectors, like a being with the soul. Being here refers to human child. human being, okay, with a soul, with all kinds of emotions. They treated the dog as their own child. Can you able to understand? This kind people fed the pet dog Nuko with tidbits of fish and so much of rice. How much she or he wanted, that much of boiled rice they are providing with the same chopstick. Okay, and they are treating this dog as their own child. The old man, being a rice farmer, went daily with hoe and spade into the fields, working very hard from morning till evening. Evening here, Tento Sama, until Tento Sama. Tento Sama is the reference name for sun. We are calling sun or evening when the sun sets. Tento Sama is the name of the sun. 19th century Japanese called sun as Tento Sama. Right? Evening, working hard from morning until Tentosama had gone down behind the hills. In the sense, sun had gone down behind the hills, that is sunsets. Every day, the dog followed him to work. Right? The old man is a rice farmer. So he used to work daily, very hard in his field. So this dog also follows him. Daily, the dog also follows the farmer. Right? See here, the dog is there in the field along with the master. Now, harming the white heron. So, never once, every day the dog followed him to work, never once harming the white heron that walked in the footsteps of the old man to pick up the worms. White heron is, what to say, it is a myth or imaginary god, that Greek god, we can say Greek god. When we walk on the steps, in between anybody or any things are there in the footstep, if we harm, it means that bad luck will come to us. That is a belief in olden days. So, white heron that walked in the footsteps of the old man to pick up the worms. For the old fellow as was patient enough and very kind enough that everything he had in his life, see, when he used to turn the sword here refers to the grasses. Okay, grasses to give food for the birds. One small picture I had for you. It is a funny picture. Just see this. A big bird is coming and hitting. This is just for fun I gave you. Right? Now, harming the white heron that walked in the footstep of the old man to pick up the worms. For the old fellow, he was very patient. The old man was very patient and kind enough to everything in the life. Everything that had life, all the living creatures. He is very kind to all the living creatures. Either it is a small worm or insects or any birds, whatever it is. And often turned up a sword. Sword here refers to the grasses on purpose to give food to the birds. Right? Is it clear? Next, one day the dog came running to him. For his surprise, he's behaving differently, putting his paws against his leg and motioning with his head to some spot behind. He's calling the master. He's trying to say something. The dog is trying to say something. That is why he came running and putting his paws against his legs and motioning with his head to some spot behind. The old man, at first, he thought the pet was playing with him, and he did not mind it. But the dog kept on whining and running to and fro for some minutes. Always he's coming, hitting the man, and again moving. He's whining. So this goes on for some minutes. So then the old man realized something is there. Then he followed the dog a few yards to a place. Yard here represents the kilometers, the distance. Okay, a distance to a place where the animal began a lively scratching. He was scratching. The dog was scratching, thinking it was possibly a buried bone or bit of fish. So the old man, the master, thought that some bones will be there in the floor or buried in the earth. So it is digging, it is scratching. The old man struck his hoe in the earth when he was surprised what it is. It is a pile of gold gleamed before him. Gleamed, shining, shone. It's a past tense of shine. Glittered. In other words, gleamed, the meaning is shine, and shone is a past tense. And what is the other word? Glittered. Glitter is also, glittered is a past tense for glitter. Right? So what happens? The dog came near the master. He tries to call him with his paws. First he thought that the dog was playing with him. Then he realized after a few minutes it continuously doing that. So he realized that something is there. So he tries to say something. He went along with that. He followed the dog a few yards to a place where the animal began to scratch the earth lively, thinking that the master thought that it was a bone or a bit of fish, buried bit of fish. The old man struck his hoe in the earth. He was surprised to see a pile of gold gleamed before him. Okay, it's like a treasure. See here, this is what is a place where the dog shows and scratched. And the instrument which is there is a hoe. The name of that is hoe. Right? So this is a old man. Man who's there in the picture is a old couple, old grandfather. Right? Thus, in an hour, the old couple were made rich. They became very rich within 1 hour. The good souls bought a piece of land. Good souls here refers to the old couple, the grandparents. Okay. They bought a piece of land and they made feast to their friends and gave plentiful to their poor neighbors. Poor neighbors, not the rich neighbors. Poor neighbors. They helped everyone. They gave feast, they bought a piece of land, and they gave plentiful to their poor neighbors. As for the dog, they petted him till they nearly smothered him with kindness. So, as for the dog they petted actually, they nearly smothered, very, very kind towards the dog. Children, is it clear for you till now? Yes. So, starting from the summary, what is it? There was a old couple, good. Then they lived in a place, small village, where daimyos were there. Where the story happened? The story happened in Japan, right? What time? In 19th century. in 19th century. Children, we will continue the story with this light